Hello, it's story time, friends. Welcome to the channel. Let's talk about story. I'm your host, Brian, and I thank you for logging in. Let's just get a few things out of the way. If you are a new viewer, I do ask you please to hit like and subscribe, and hit the little bell in the corner so you know when I post new videos. I try to post twice a week, usually later in the week, and so yeah. Please, and by the way, the camera controversy is now over. I've got a new camera, and also we have added lighting as well that we forgot to turn on. Just trying to make this video more watchable, I guess, and just trying to improve things. So if there's any input that you have, any criticisms, just drop a note down below. I try to read all my comments, and I consider everything. So one viewer pointed out that the lighting was a little bit bad, so I did something about it. So just trying to make this a good community. And like I said, if there's anybody you know that likes talking about stories and things, and especially as we start getting into some deeper dives soon, please just let them know. And with that being said, we're going to talk about this week's book, which will be Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This is a fairly recent book. It's about 2 years old. It's got a sequel, which has also been published, and you can look and see it on my shelf, Fires of Vengeance, which I haven't started yet. But let's get right into it. The Umahi people have been fighting an unwinnable fight for almost 200 years. Their society has been built around war and only war. The lucky ones are born gifted. 1 in every 2,000 women has the power to call down dragons. 1 in every 100 men is able to magically transform himself into a bigger, stronger, faster killing machine. Everyone else is fodder, destined to fight and die in the endless war. Young, giftless Tao knows all of this, but he has a plan of escape. He's going to get himself injured, get out early, and settle down in marriage, children, and land. Only he doesn't get the chance. Those closest to him are brutally murdered, and his grief swiftly turns to anger. Fixated on revenge, Tao dedicates himself to an unthinkable path. He'll become the greatest swordsman to ever live, a man willing to die 100,000 times for a chance to kill the 3 who betrayed him. So, the first thing I want to say, this was originally a self-published book that caught on. I believe it might have been posted on Reddit even, if I'm not mistaken. But it took off, and it became so popular that Orbit Books, Orbit reached out to him and offered him a book deal, and now he's off to the races. So this book has gotten relatively good reviews. A few things about the book: the prelude is stellar. I know some people might skip prelude from time to time. If you do that, you're probably a psycho, honestly. But the prelude here is so it drew me in. It was it introduced you to these 2 characters, and you're seeing them fighting this battle the very beginning of the book, and you want to know more about those characters. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I did like the main story, but you don't. This is 100 years before the main story, but it was really cool because you get to see the magic in all its glory. Like I said, if you start a prelude off with the dragon, you got me. I'm in. The main character Tao. So he's essentially the equivalent of a draft dodger, really. He has a plan to avoid fighting in this war, which he's probably just going to die in anyway. He's not a great fighter. He's not very motivated. He's from a low case, so he's probably just going to be used as fodder, basically. So he decides that he's going to go and here's his plan to get himself injured and injured people are allowed to those who can't fight are able to kind of build their lives. They're kind of looked down upon in society, but he's already looked down upon. So he doesn't have very much to lose. And then there's a murder that happens, and it's very public, but it's by the main antagonist whose name I'm going to have to go to my notes. Sorry. I hope I want to kill this. Abasi Odili. As you probably can tell, this is not a European book. This is definitely set in a more African type society. But I have to look at the name. Sorry, Abasi is the main antagonist, and we find out he has done a lot of bad things, and not just to Tala and those he cares about, but also to his whole nation. We learn that is a kind of a spoiler, so I apologize for that. But I would say this book was a fresh breath of air. As you can see, I read a lot of fantasy. Most of these books, a lot of these books, while these books are for show, I tend to read off of Kindle. I do like the aesthetic of having fresh, beautiful books around me. So typically, I guess authors must love me because I typically buy physical copies of the book as well as electronic copies and sometimes even the Audible. But I say all that to say this book, it moves quickly. The action is nonstop. If this was made into a movie, it could be groundbreaking. I've heard someone try to say this was Game of Thrones meets Gladiator. While I can't see the Gladiator aspect, I wouldn't say it was Game of Thrones because everybody wants to put Game of Thrones on everything. But it's kind of its own thing, actually. And that's what's so fresh about it. It's a whole new setting, the world building that Evan Witter did was great. The character work he's doing is good as far as Tal goes, at least. And we'll get more of that into the good when I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But there's dragons in this book, y'all. If you don't like dragons, then you probably turn me off right now. But I would say it was a fun read for the most part. There are some scenes in there that, like I said, his weakness is his rage, and he goes into almost berserker rage at times after he begins to develop his skills as a warrior, and you see it, and it is a hindrance to him. He does stupid things at times in this book because he can't see, his blinders are on at that point. He only sees the object of his vengeance, and he doesn't even consider the consequences. And that's the kind of thing that it's probably it may even get him killed. I don't know. I would suggest giving this a read by any stretch of the imagination. And before I go too far down that, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm gonna try to repeat myself too much, but the writing is great, like I said, and the world building top notch. I can't think of anything like this. The setting, but I do need to read more African fiction, especially African fantasy. And I'm finding out there's more and more of it being produced every day. You quickly learn to like Tal. He's easy to empathize with if you can get over the fact that he's going to make dumb mistakes. If you got a friend who, when he loses his temper, and he's not a hothead, but when he does lose that temper, he doesn't think about things ahead of time. That's what Tal is. He doesn't think about or I should say, he doesn't think about the consequences of his anger. I like the fact that it was African setting. It was good to kind of get away from take a break from all the European fantasy that's out there, and I'm just gonna leave that at that. The character development, the character work on Tao is great. We see his growth, we see it, and it's not. And yeah, he does become a great warrior, but it's earned. His character growth is earned. His big moments are earned. You never feel like he's a Gary Stu at all. He makes mistakes. He takes he takes his knocks and keeps moving, and it's kind of what we like to see from our heroes. So I thought as a hero, I like Tao. I know some reviewers I've seen have said they didn't like him because when he does stupid things, he does stupid things, and I get that. I do have friends I know that can't stand a dumb character or stupid. I won't say he's a dumb character, not dumb by any stretch, but can't stand a stupid character. He when, like I said, when that rage hits, consequences don't occur to him until it's too late. Let's talk about the bad, because I've said a lot of praise on this book, but the bad. Let's see. I like the writing a lot, like I said, but there is a sex scene in this book that got way more intimate than I thought was necessary. It was necessary. It just felt kind of awkward in the middle of things. I didn't mind the fact that there was a love story, but I think I didn't see where the level of detail he went into that scene was necessary, other than to maybe practice some writing skills in case Penthouse Letters calls. I don't know, but it's not that bad. It's not on level of Penthouse Letters, but it's definitely something. It was definitely the case of I didn't see where it served a purpose. Let's see. The other thing that I would say is the other minor characters don't really stand out as much. They kind of like the people that are in his unit. They kind of at this point then they kind of just blend for me. But I have heard that at the beginning of the next book, he does do a good job of kind of recouping. So I would say that is definitely a weaker point. But I kind of understand at the same time it's all from Tao's point of view, and Tao's got a lot on his mind, and he probably doesn't pay attention to the people around him. But that being said, on a scale of 1 to 5 swords, I'm going to give this 4.5 swords, and I will suggest this book as a must-read. Like I said, one of the best books I've read in the last couple of years. I read it in 2020, I believe, and can't say enough good things about it. With that being said, next book review we're going to be doing is going to be Fonda Lee's Jade City, which is, again, not European. So not saying I'm straying away from European fantasy. There's going to be plenty of that to discuss. And at some point, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room that is Game of Thrones. And beyond that, I'm going to try to do a couple of videos, at least one video this weekend. I want to do a Star Wars ranking type thing, and where we just kind of where I rank the Star Wars movies. Those who know me already know what number one's going to be. And then also we're going to be doing. I'm also going to be discussing doing a video on the Spider-Man trilogy, focusing on No Way Home, which just came out. And if you have any other ideas for anything we might want to do here, just drop a line. Like I said, I'm always listening. I read all my comments. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for checking in. And we will see everybody next time. Have a good week.